Hello and welcome to Tales to Admonish. On this week's episode, we will be diving deep into Invincible as well as Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Falcon and Winter Soldier, so good this week. And we'll be talking a little bit about some of the news that's come out this week for some of the different movies and television shows that we're all eagerly awaiting. So join us as we talk about all things geek on Tales to Admonish.
Yeah. Somehow, I think that needed like an evil laugh or something.
I'm with it. I think everything needs an evil laugh. Pretty much, always.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been kind of a crazy week with some different outside of podcast stuff, but I'm glad that we found a quiet moment that you and I can sit around and talk again, because I haven't talked to you in a little bit. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just ready for sweet, sweet escapism.
Ain't it the damn truth? That's why we watch this shit. Because the real world out there is fucking harsh, but this shit is fucking sweet. So, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So, on the news front, you got some things you're thinking about? I got some things I'm thinking about.
What you thinking about?
Oh, well, number one, I think we all know Shang-Chi, the trailer just dropped. For people.
Oh, what you think about that trailer?
Oh, I thought the trailer was so good. I'm so ready for Marvel Kung Fu. I want some Kung Fu.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
I'm an old Shaw Brothers fan. So those old Kung Fu movies from, specifically for me, it's my era is 1977 to 1981. So I love everything Kung Fu, and I was psyched to see some real
Everybody
Kung Fu.
was Kung Fu fighting. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the line that comes after that, because that would be mad racist. Like a white guy just making that prototypical Chinese sound into the microphone. I can't do that. I'm sorry. You set it up, and I just can't knock it down, my friend. I can't do it.
Yeah, man. I was a little after that. My whole thing was Bruce Leroy.
Oh, show enough.
That's right.
Who is the baddest? Oh, I know it.
That was my era. Yeah, but I love the Shang-Chi trailer. I'm just so proud of Marvel, man. They found a way to like expand their cinematic palette. I think there was a little while in the middle where all their movies were starting to look exactly the same, had the same feel and look. And they're like, oh, we can't do this, And so, like, especially with the advent of these TV shows, like, they really got something going, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's such a beautiful thing. I'm so proud of them that they're able to take all of these, especially like taking characters like Shang-Chi, and especially if you want to go back to Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, no one knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was, man. It was such a fringe comic book and series, like in Marvel. And they have loads of those characters that they can now just take and I mean we got the Moon Knight series coming out. They're about to make Moon Knight like a household name. Moon Knight is such a like I'm not going to say unpopular, but like a lot of people don't know about Moon Knight.
Well, it was Marvel's Batman with a greater emphasis on the mental difficulties.
The
psychological difficulties that he was having.
Yeah, Marvel always goes deeper, man. So, like, the Shang-Chi thing, what I was seeing was, when you look at that trailer, you see, like, John Wick, you see James Bond, and then you see, like, all of those, like, wuxia and kung fu stuff that's in there. It's like amazing to look at.
Oh yeah, and there was even one scene where they're showing this ancient battle. It looks old-timey to me. I think that there's going to be some flashback stuff, but where you see some real traditional looking like wire work with some of the stunt performers. So they look like they're all in on it.
Yeah, like the early reportings on the plot that I heard was that like this was gonna have some sort of Mortal Kombat elements to it, where they were gonna be bringing in like a who's who of all of these brawler type characters that have appeared in past Marvel movies and shows, to be involved. Like I believe Batroc will be in this movie at some point.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's one of the early things that I heard that made me like, oh wow, this is cool.
Well, one of the dudes I saw was they got Razor Fist in there.
Okay.
So he's an old school Marvel character. And the big joke about Razor Fist is he's a guy who literally replaces his hands with swords. But then, like, how does he use the bathroom?
You're not supposed to think about those things, Tom.
I know, but they show him he's got the swords on his hands, but this time they're like laser edged and they're a little less, because they're a little less old school. But so they definitely got a Razor Fist, and the Mandarin is also there, which is awesome because Shang-Chi in the comic book, his father wasn't the Mandarin. His father was this incredibly like racist caricature called Fu Manchu.
Yeah, I remember
And
the
so
dragon.
they've done away with Fu Manchu, and they've introduced that, in the Marvel Universe, the Mandarin is real, which they did a little one shot called like All Hail the King that explained, hey, the Mandarin is real and he's pissed off that Ben Kingsley's been impersonating him.
Oh, yeah,
so now we're going to get the real Mandarin. And I think that seeing the Mandarin battle what looks to be hundreds of years ago, I think the Mandarin's going to be like one of these ageless, superpower empowered, with the 10 rings, which are now gauntlets instead of like finger rings. And I fully support that.
It's too bad Tony couldn't have fought him. Because like we never got to see that. Well, I guess you got to see it in Infinity, but like they always, in most of those Iron Man movies, it was always technology versus technology. So I always thought it was interesting that the Mandarin was one of Tony's biggest villains because it was like magic versus technology, and like that makes like for a crazier foil, to try to get your head around.
Yeah.
So that's too bad that Tony wouldn't be around to do that. A tidbit that I saw that is Emilia Clarke has been making a comic book.
Really? What kind of book?
Along with the work she's about to do at Marvel, that I'm sure yet you're gonna talk about in a second. Don't want to bury the lead, but she's making a comic book. I did forget about the name of it. I just saw it this morning on Instagram. She was really excited about it and had been developing it for 2 years.
Is she writing it or drawing it?
I just saw the news about this.
But she's developing it.
Yeah, she's developing it. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad she's really kind of cement herself in our world. That'd be cool if she's actually been into comics for the longest time. Some people just like to jump on. Who's been like one of the starlets that's been on comics for day one, freaking Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh man, she had a really cool comic back in the day.
You know who else is really into it is Henry Cavill, like goes to all these Comic-Cons and dresses up so people can't recognize him. And he knows all of the material backwards and forwards. The guy knows his comics.
Oh, crap. Did you see when he snuck up on Will Smith in costume?
Yes, I did.
At Comic-Con?
Yep. Amazing. But another Emilia Clarke news. She has joined the cast of Secret Invasion. So talking about these big budget TV shows that Marvel's making, that means they now have Samuel Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, and Emilia Clarke signed on confirmed for a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel's where it's at, man. Like straight up, especially when the Eternals come out, like because that has like the biggest freaking cast, like. Not just like side. They usually get like really AAA talent, and they're playing like a side character or something.
Yeah.
So this is the movie where they have like AAA actors all as leads. So and I hope they knock it out of the park. I'm really kind of trepidatious about that movie because it's just like, how is this gonna work? Because it's not tied to any of the current stories. They're going all the way back.
No. I think Secret Invasion is tied to the current story. I mean, they just introduced Skrull.
No, I'm talking about Eternals.
I'm
talking about
sorry,
Eternals.
Sorry, yeah.
No.
How will Eternals tie to anything? You're absolutely right. I have no idea what to expect from it. I never really read that book. I going in totally cold.
Yeah, I mean, Secret Invasion it was such a great comic book series. I just wonder, like, they're gonna have to do everything they can to change up the plot to that because that's what they do. Like they really change things up so they can make things still surprising for all the old fans and the new. So I wonder. I just wonder who Emilia's gonna play. I mean, she's gonna play Spider-Woman.
Well, do they even have the rights to Spider-Woman technically? I mean, does Sony want them to
At this point they
show
do.
Spider-Woman?
I mean, at this point they do.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. They can do what they
they
want.
could use that stuff. Yeah. Well, not completely what they want, but they definitely can use a bunch of stuff. But you're right about that too. Like they might just use another character for that.
Right, because it's revealed it's
Yeah.
never really Spider-Woman anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Spoilers for a thing that doesn't exist yet. Now we got to issue preemptive spoilers.
You saw the Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
thingy.
yeah. I saw the Mortal Kombat trailer and they released the first 7 minutes of the movie and it is fucking magical. It is amazing.
What were your thoughts?
So all right. So anybody who knows the original Mortal Kombat movies know that those movies were a little bit suspect, admittedly. The first one is fun, popcorn. The second one is borderline unwatchable. But this thing, the first 7 minutes, it's so cinematic. And what you get is Sub-Zero and Scorpion's origin story. Because in the video game, Sub-Zero murdered Scorpion's family and killed him. And so he goes to hell and he basically gets his ass out of hell so that he can return and get his revenge on Sub-Zero and Sub-Zero's clan for murdering his whole clan. And in the video game, the Sub-Zero is Chinese and Scorpion is Japanese. So this movie starts out and you're with Scorpion's clan. It's just a bunch of people and his wife and his children, and they're all speaking Japanese and it's subtitled. And then fucking Sub-Zero shows up and motherfuckers are dying all over the place. There is no lack of blood on this thing at all. It's gory as heck. They really lean into it. And so Sub-Zero just starts taking out everybody. And then, spoilers, but it's out there, it murders Scorpion's family, and you see him get his signature weapon was like the gardening tool that his wife was using just before she was killed, and he ties a rope to it and he just starts killing all of the Sub-Zero ninjas with it. And then he and Sub-Zero start conversing and they're each using their own language and we're getting subtitles, and it feels so ridiculously authentic. It feels so cinematic, and like there looks like there's so much care in the details of it. And so I think we all know that by the end of that fight, Sub-Zero will be the victor, and then somehow the guy Hanzo is his name will fight his way out of hell so that he can take his revenge on Sub-Zero. And it's gorgeous, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I was drawn in when it stopped and it was like coming, because it's coming on Friday. And I wasn't excited for this movie at all. It was on my radar because I liked the Mortal Kombat games as a kid, but like after the second one, the expectations are a little measured. This killed it for me.
I gotta tell you, when I saw the trailer, I just felt like it was an updated version of the '95 version of Mortal Kombat. Because honestly, I was a little disappointed because it looks great, but it's not hard to make a lot of things look great now.
But I think it's easy to make them look bad.
I feel that, but my thing is, when it's a big studio, it's not hard for them to make things look aesthetically great. I mean, like the Avatar movie looked aesthetically great, but it was like, really bad. You know what I mean?
Fair. Yeah. No,
but my thing was, I remember when they first started kind of trying to make some Mortal Kombat stuff online. That felt so elevated, so original, and not just the same old kind of like regular tournament stuff. That this is kind of, because when you look at it, it's kind of the same story. I mean, granted, from what you're saying, I like that they're going deeper into Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but they've that's kind of what they've been doing, like for years, No.
No. I'm gonna disagree just a little bit with that, because the Sub-Zero and Scorpion show up for one scene each in the second movie, and in the first movie they don't talk. That you have no understanding. They're just henchmen, and they're out henching. So I feel like in the movies we don't get them.
I'm talking about all the stuff I'm talking about all the stuff that's come out since then. Like from the video games and the cartoon stuff. I mean, like that's not to say they shouldn't do it in a movie, but it's just like when I see the trailer, I really feel like Sub-Zero and Scorpion are the only majorly developed things in that trailer.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like I don't feel that for Sonya. Like I mean, they're doing the same thing with Jax again. He lost his arm again.
Yeah.
You know,
No, but that doesn't bother me like too much. Like I don't really worry about it being the same thing over again because the production value and there were on the first one combined with Raiden was Christopher Lambert. I mean, they had a French dude playing an Asian god. Like fuck that movie, Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I want to see it done right.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I just really like what they were doing on those YouTube shorts. So, like, I mean, if we're gonna elevate it, like go in that direction. Like, I don't know if you remember those, but those are freaking awesome.
Unofficial and
yeah. So I thought they might have gone in that direction, but again, it seems like they're just updating what they did originally.
If they do it right this time, I'm here for it.
I hear you. That sounds good.
But I love the video game, and I love that I'm seeing characters I recognize. Like the trailer, I think there's only so much time, and I think you got to play the hits on the trailer a little bit, so that's why you get Scorpion and Sub-Zero and stuff. But from everything that I've read about this production, these people care about it, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing that one part where he takes Scorpion's blood, freezes it, and makes it into a dagger. Like that was very inspired, like fighting choreography.
So much good choreography, so much stuff. And yeah, I know Jax, the freezing the arms and snapping them off. I don't know. I like that the effects look good and it's hyper violent. And because, Mortal Kombat, like it's cheesy. It winks at itself, but it never goes full camp. And I think that the other movies forgot that a little bit and they got a little Power Rangery. For me, this just looks like all good. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I wasn't at all excited to see it. Now I'm excited to see it.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, so which show we're going to talk about first?
Let's see. I don't know.
Let's do Invincible.
Invincible? All right, word. Let's do Invincible. So this was Invincible recently. What did we watch? Episode 6 was the most recent one.
Is it 5 or 6?
6, something like that. And
I
liked it. I thought it was fun. I think Mark gets his ass kicked a lot for somebody named Invincible.
Yeah, just like the comic. Yeah. I mean, you see, he doesn't die though.
No, he doesn't die, but damn, he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, it's just like the comic, like because like the comic was so bloody, and he just always got his butt kicked because he's just so new to it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they really build up Mark's character over the time of like a few years that comic book goes out, and I think they're kind of slowly showing him learning a bunch of different lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's funny. Justin Roiland was in this episode playing like the weird college kid.
Rachel and I remarked about that too, and that you get Justin Roiland and then you literally cut his voice box out 6 minutes into the episode. It's like, it feels like a waste.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was hysterical.
Which character was he? I thought he was the scientist.
No. Justin Roiland wasn't the scientist. Justin Roiland was the frat dude who pops out of the bushes in the first 2 minutes of the episode.
Oh, crap.
And then he gets captured by the scientist.
That didn't sound like Justin.
Yep, he gets captured by the scientist, and then he's like babbling the whole time the scientist is explaining his evil plan. And so the scientist promptly cuts his voice box out so that he'll shut up.
That's so funny.
Rachel and I thought that was hysterical. It was like we're 6 minutes in and we're looking, they just cut Justin Roiland's voice box literally out of his character.
Yeah, I mean, so they keep doing a lot of great character development. I love that this is like an hour show because you never experience shows like this as an hour. It's always like a 22-minute thing.
True. I think this episode felt a little side questy,
I mean, they're still building up stuff like, maybe setting up Mark to be with Adam Adam Eve.
Oh, I hope they wrap
Um,
that up soon. I got to be honest, I'm not in love with his girlfriend Amber. Like it just feels a little
hmm
repetitive by this point. Amber's frustrated because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
never around and I'm gonna promise to be there, but then I'm gonna let her down, but then she'll forgive me. Like it just feels repetitive. I want them to just wrap that up.
it was pretty odd because I swear there was a scene that Amber knew that Adam Eve was a superhero. Because I felt like she remarked to her, "Are you gonna go out saving the world?" Just like super casually, like not even making a joke.
Yeah, she does
So it's
like
just
drop
like,
that line a couple of times, so it seems like she
yeah,
knows,
that's what I'm
but I don't
saying.
think it's never
So it's just like,
explicitly
so
said.
why is it such a big deal that Mark that she does like that she doesn't know Mark's like secret or whatever? I think that's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think it's
You
weird
know
too.
that he's held that secret from her for so long, because like, why are you keeping it a secret anyway? Like, all right, no harm is gonna come to your family.
Well, but I think that, but kind of, it's the Spider-Man thing. It's like anybody who knows is now somebody who can be used, to obtain that information. Although, the, I don't know. I just want them to go somewhere with it. I think exactly your point. Like, tell her or
Yeah,
don't, or break up with her or don't. But like, it's the same
yeah,
thing, episode after episode. And I think you could better spend that time doing something else.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the only thing I was just like, what?
Yeah, I also thought it was a little what that Mark gets his ass whooped by like dime store cyborgs.
Mm-hmm.
This is a college student building them. Now I'll accept that he's still recovering from nearly being killed by that giant lion dude.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So I think that's the reason that he has so much trouble with those cyborgs. But these are literally just
Mm-hmm.
regular old dudes with some metal parts on them. We've seen him like lift buildings, tearing metal in two. Shouldn't be anything difficult.
Mm-hmm. They're a little like weak on, the
Power consistency.
like whether yeah, the power consistency, like whether, like, because like I remember this one there was that one kind of like montage where he's texting on his phone and somebody's like hitting him with something and he's just standing there ignoring
Exactly.
them, you know. And but then there's one time he'll get punched by somebody. It's like, well, how powerful is that
Yeah,
punch?
it's inconsistent, and I think
Yeah.
because he is going through these cycles of getting his ass whooped, like we can accept some of that inconsistency as recovery. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it seemed like these cyborgs were a little bit below his, class.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really jive with the cyborgs. I thought Machine Head was fun, like the idea of probability and being able to assess probability as a superpower in the previous episode. And then the moral complexity of helping a villain stop a villain and thinking you're doing the right thing. And of course, Omni Man watches the whole thing and doesn't intervene in any of it.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
I like the subplot with Robot too.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's so
yeah.
funny because I never pictured, I never, like, I read the original comic. I didn't read it all the way up to the end,
Right,
but
right.
I read like at least like 3 or 4 trades of it. But I never imagined Robot's voice to sound like that because his design makes him look like a granny.
Yeah, a little bit. It makes the mouth like pursed like an old woman's kind of mouth.
Yeah.
Like you have like a
I I always pictured it like as an old person voice or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see
Yeah, it's
that.
such an interesting design.
Yeah, we're getting a
Yeah,
lot more on him these days too. We're really starting to
yeah.
see, his work. And I gotta wonder because in the previous episode we saw a tank with like a body in it, and I thought that was them already having gotten to work on a clone. But then in this episode we see him give him the
hmm
sample. So what the fuck is in that
Yeah.
tank? I mean, you read the comics, so you probably could go, I'll tell you exactly what's in that tank. And no spoilers for that because I don't care if we spoil it for other people, but you don't spoil it for me.
I really don't remember. I read Invincible like in 2007.
Ah, fair enough. So 13
Yeah,
years
so
tends to put a
yeah,
little
so it was like
fog
like
on
it
it.
was a while. I was reading that and Runaways at the same time and Fables. All the really big 2000 comics. Walking Dead.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. What a great decade for comics. It really was, man. Why the Last
That's
Man?
when
Oh
that's
my
exactly
God.
when I fell off, which is funny. I went through comic books for me went through phases, and then right around
Mm-hmm.
2001 I started getting real busy as a musician, and just didn't have time for it anymore, and was just lost
Mm-hmm.
track. And then once you sort of fall off, you got to go get back issues. And so for me, my heyday.
And you guys will hear all of that and more on the new podcast coming out, The Thomas Olton Chronicles. Meow, meow,
This
meow.
one time, I found a copy of Fantastic Four number 201 at a swap meet. And other exciting stories like that.
I'm down to listen to that, bro.
Oh,
Shoot, that's not even a joke.
that's so funny. I bought so many comic books at swap meets. I tell a lot of those stories.
I bet so many people were like, I want to hear about that. Stop talking about this Invincible bull crap.
But I never read Invincible, so you got that on me. And so that's when we talk about this sort of stuff. That's part of why I think it's enlightening, because like you have some advanced knowledge, but then like what do you remember? And I'm coming into it cold. There's stuff that you want to. I'm glad I'm coming in cold, because I'm constantly sort of surprised by how far they let it go.
Yeah, I mean this is a great thing to come into like completely blind, because it's just like, it's hard to get, like, there's so much superhero media out there, so like, I mean, we're getting to the point where we're seeing it all. I actually kind of feel bad for the Mark Millar superhero thing that's coming out, because it's just like,
it's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Well, the thing that made that book really great, honestly, was Frank Quietly's art.
Mm-hmm.
So without Frank Quietly's art, it just looks like generic superheroes. And I don't know who is excited about that. Like, I mean, I don't know, like the raving fan base that's just like, oh, I can't wait to watch that, when there's like just so much recognizable heroes out there. So we'll see. Because Mark Millar, I mean, he always has great stories and great ideas.
Yeah.
And he just signed that really big deal with Netflix.
They gave him all the money. And Netflix, their stock took a dive yesterday. Their earnings showed a little low for this quarter, and they also simultaneously announced that they are putting small mountains of cash into independent project production, doing all their own in-house stuff. So I think content creation is where it's going to be for Netflix, and it looks like they're not looks like they're not hesitant to spend the money on it. So I think if they get the right people and they give it the right resources, there's no reason it shouldn't be successful.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the main event.
Wait. Before we Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm going to cut this, or maybe edit this back in. One thing I love about this is Adam Eve goes off and starts actually helping people with superpowers.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is in all of the shit that we ever see with superheroes. Talk about staying original. Give me something I've never seen before. Like in the X-Men, Storm could save billions of people from famine, which would be a better use of her time than like punching a Morlock.
They do it in the comics, but like I don't even want to talk about Storm. That's a whole other podcast right now. Like the way they've used Storm in just comics and pop culture has just been a complete travesty. Like Storm should be on the level of Wonder Woman. Storm should be having her own movies. Storm should be like bigger than what she is. But since she's a black character created by white characters, or not white characters, but white creators, like there's never ever really been a full potential of Storm. And honestly, like, I don't even want to go into it right now. We need to have a whole podcast about
it. So what you're saying is that you have a couple of mild opinions on the matter, is all. Yes. No, I totally agree.
Yes,
with what you're
very
saying.
mild.
That's a very deep sociological conversation. I was just saying that there are a lot of examples in comic books where superheroes could better apply their abilities to helping more people, and that because of the nature of comic books and we want excitement, it always defaults to punchy. But it was nice just to see a moment aside to say, hey, I'm going to stop with all the punchy, and I'm going to go see if I could do some real good. Now, does that end up?
Yeah, that part was pretty refreshing.
I really like that little bit. Does that end up like going all wrong, or whatever comes of it? Nothing. I don't know. But if nothing more comes of it than just those few scenes, I thought it was some good character building time.
Oh, wait, hold on. Speaking about Adam Eve, Did you notice like the little snafu that's happening with her costume with the logo on her chest?
Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about it last time that it bothers me that they screw up the logo. But what is there a particular one in the most recent episode?
Oh, okay. They actually showed a close up of it and they showed how it's supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when they draw her so far away all the time, it looks like a little X, like
Right,
it's
right, right.
it's
Yeah.
a X crossing out the logo of being like
Yeah, I had serious beef with that. Yep.
yeah. So like they did a close up, and they actually had like the little circles
The
crossing
third
it and
line
stuff.
in the middle.
So that's
All right.
just
So they fixed it up in the
yeah.
close-up.
That's just kind of yeah in the close up, but like they can't do that in animation when it's a medium shot. So they've kind of created a problem
A
for
little bit. I've heard some
themselves.
people griping about the animation quality. A little bit online.
Yeah.
I've seen some grumblings about it.
Well, they got to, man. It's an hour show. they have every now and then like there's great animation, and then there's the parts where you see where they're cutting corners.
Yeah, there are a lot of corners getting cut. I've seen it. Yep.
Yeah, because they never make this format ever, like a hour animated show.
Just the guys in Korea are getting
that's
tired. They're like,
so
all right,
dope.
just they're buildings. They look like buildings, right? We're good. Let's move on. But in Korean.
Now, da da dun, da 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 Falcon, da 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 with the soda, yeah, John Walker, yeah.
Oh, you know it. You love it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. One more episode left after this episode we just got. Talk about character moments. Man, we got a lot of character moments in this. This was Marvel saving some of that money. Like, man, do you see what we spent on those first 4 episodes? We got to buy back some of that at some point. We're going to do it today. Speaking of character moments, we have gotten so many character moments in the most recent episode. Marvel coming through, saving all that money from their previous episodes. We had what we got? We got Zemo talks to Bucky. Sam talks to Isaiah Bradley. We've got everybody talks to everybody.
Yeah, I love that scene, man. I mean, I just want to start off with the beginning of the scene. Like, they've been doing so many crazy visual things on this show, like really iconically. Like just at the end of the last episode, with John Walker. Like, I mean, honestly, that shot that tilted up at him, it looked like a Steve McNiven cover.
Yeah.
With him holding that
the bloody
blood-stained shield. Yeah. So then, like, jumping off into this episode, we have John Walker running around and then like bending down with that shield, like feeling the pain. Just like and it's so cool because Marvel does so great at not making their stuff like all posy, Mighty Marvel, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Like, everything feels like organic and real, and while they're still really making awesome images, like comic book imagery.
Yeah, but it's organic. It feels natural to the scene.
Yeah, everything is emotionally set correctly, and that's what made that fight work so well too.
Yeah, that fight was amazing.
So good, great performances from everybody.
That looked just like the fight in Civil War.
So good.
When you look at that fight and you see the two of them fighting against, Fake Cap. And just all of the callbacks to the previous movies. The music is like all Captain America's music. And it's so cinematic. That's the best word for it.
Oh, yeah. And that fight was nuts, man. There's all the things that happen when he's clipping Falcon's wings, all the way to like Bucky's arm malfunctioning. Then they literally have to break that dude's arm to get that shield away from him.
Yeah.
And then Bucky,
with a little extra rocket thrust.
Yeah, that was sick. And then like Sam, like Bucky has a hold of him, and Sam just does like basically E Honda sumo rush on him.
Yes. Oh, it's
So
such a good
cool.
fight. And then they have him, in his uniform because again, he murdered a man on television, you know, and all that stuff. And of course, the big reveal, the big cameo, but with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who was awesome.
Oh yeah, man. Love her, man. I've been in love with that chick for freaking 25 years, man.
Tessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
I'm sorry, it's Elaine.
It is always Elaine. That's fair.
No, just kidding. It's just good to, but like the show needed levity, and the show knows exactly how to get some good levity in there. Like they have that like forever meme of Zemo doing his thing in the club. Have you seen that meme everywhere?
Yes. The dance. Oh, the dance memes
So
are amazing.
cool.
All of them are fantastic.
It's funny what Marvel does with their villains. Like they really, really go the extra edge to really make them, make you have sympathy for them.
Sure.
But it's just like, I mean, it was hard for me to have sympathy for this dude. He's like straight up lied to his friends' parents about who actually got killed. I mean, he was there. He saw what happened.
He's doing that to try and justify what he's done. He's trying to control the narrative of like by lying about that detail.
Well,
or he could have been in such a psychotic rage he doesn't even really know who killed Lamar. He might be to the point of where he's believing his own lie because he needs to reinforce
he was there.
what
He
thinks about himself.
He saw what happened, and like they told him as well. And I think he had a line saying, well, he's part of it or whatever.
Yeah,
or something like that.
He
like
he
before they fought or whatever.
That he didn't kill the person, and he's lying about it to save face.
The only thing that I'm like with him on is like how America does this all the time. Like they'll get somebody like to become a murder death machines, and then after they follow the mission to the T, they'll throw them under the bus.
Or if they break ranks in any way at all. I mean, I think it's supposed to mirror Isaiah Bradley's story a little bit, except that one gets leniency and the other one gets torture.
Oh, yeah.
That you have super soldiers or that you have your own soldiers who have broken your codes, your mandates. In the case of Isaiah Bradley, he talks about rescuing other test subjects from the POW facility that the U.S. was just going to bomb to hell to hide their experiments. So he breaks protocol and he is court-martialed and arrested for it.
Yeah, there was also a juxtaposition with the first Captain America movie, because Captain America does that with
he rescues
his
the
friends.
POWs in Captain America 1. Yep.
Yeah, and he didn't see any freaking slap on the wrist behind that.
No, he was a hero. He came back and everyone's applauding as he walks out of the, mist with his crew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I really love that and I'm glad they didn't have any flashbacks too, because it's like, who wants to remember that sort of stuff? I really felt like they handled that character extremely well, especially they took the big jump for storytelling by having the original Black Captain America tell him that no self-respecting Black person would be Captain America of this country. And that makes sense for somebody like him to say something like that. And it gives so much great conflict for Sam to chew on.
Yeah.
It was just really great writing.
Because Sam has to make his own choice. Like that's Isaiah Bradley's truth. But what is Sam's truth?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
man.
was totally drawn into that, and then you see this whole thing where he's explaining that he doesn't think Sam should be Captain America, and I think what Captain America is Captain America is true to America's ideals, not to America the nation. We see that whole progression. Captain America doesn't stop being Captain America after the Sokovia Accords. I mean, he becomes basically what he was. Steve Rogers becomes nomad. Slowly the stars and the colors start disappearing off of his costume as the Marvel universe progresses. But he's still always Captain America because he's withholding America's ideals, even if America itself doesn't live up to it.
Yeah.
And so Sam, I think, is prepared to be that. That I think he can be. Somebody who upholds America's ideals.
Yeah, I mean, somebody that like understands America on a whole other level.
And we got his montage with the Americans. Look at all of my people and friends coming.
He had a montage. Sam Wilson has a montage.
And everybody's going to come from the town and rebuild the boat, and everybody comes together, and this is the good of America. This is the best of the American ideal, people working together for everyone's betterment. And I think he needed to have that moment before he could then decide to be Uncle Sam, Captain America. They call him Uncle Sam a lot.
Yeah, Uncle Sam.
Louisiana.
That's right, Uncle Sam. Yeah, man. There's a lot of beautiful things happening in this script. And of course, like the relationship that they build with Bucky and Sam throughout this whole thing, so organic, so real. Like it has its funny parts, sure, but like there's some really just great internal conflict. Like when Sam brings up that him and Captain
Steve.
America Steve didn't understand why, like, it was a troublesome thing for him to just immediately take up the mantle of Captain America. As being white men, like they just weren't going to immediately understand.
Right. It was nice for Marvel to acknowledge, to have Bucky acknowledge that in the show, that they didn't get that at the time, and they were sure without Steve being here to say so himself, but they're sure Steve feels the same way or would feel the same way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that crap was great. The flirting with his sister was great. The rules they set up for what their team ups and friendship is going to be. We're just two guys, occasionally work with each other.
Just some guys doing some stuff. No, it's great, and it does feel really earned and really organic.
Yeah, man, begrudging. They've gone through something together. They have a shared thing. It's a beautiful thing to watch, it was also kind of sad to see that when the leader, what's her name, Aura, the leader of the Dora Milaje, like at that moment.
I can't think of her name right off the top of my head.
Yeah, she's just like, you need to stay away from Wakanda for a while.
Look, we're cool, but we ain't cool.
Yeah. So I just thought it was weird that he was like, can I have another favor? Yeah.
I
was like, what?
I think the only reason they did it is because it's a favor for Sam, and they knew that Sam stood with their perspective.
Yeah, it was just funny. You want more stuff?
Like, you may not like me, but can I get one more thing? Like, you're the most technologically advanced culture on our planet. Can I just get like one thing?
All I know is this new episode is gonna be on fire, bro.
Oh
my god.
Everything.
Oh my god, I'm so happy.
We're gonna find out if Sharon Carter is the power broker or not. She's definitely in some shit though.
Well, yeah, she sent Batroc over there.
Yep, she sent Batroc over there, and but we don't know why, because I think it's equally probable that she sends Batroc because somehow she's secretly aligned with them, or that it's probable.
Well, I mean, this is the funny thing though. Like not Sam, but Nick Fury hired Batroc in the Captain America movie,
so he could be a double agent.
So it's just like I don't know what's happening. That's what made that movie so good in the first place. The Winter Soldier movie.
Yeah. That's one of the best ones.
Oh, heck
but I don't know what his motivations are.
I mean, with one last movie being there, this might as well be a movie. That's a Freudian slip. You know,
One more
one more
episode.
episode. Each one of them look like
Oh,
a
they're
freaking
incredible. It
movie. It's
looks
so
so
good.
good. The
Yeah,
lighting and the production
yeah.
design on this stuff's
Um.
so good.
Oh yeah, it's freaking
But yeah,
dope.
I can't wait to
Like
find
at,
out.
at all at once. All at once, it looks like a Marvel movie. It looks like Bourne Identity. Looks like James Bond. It looks like it's all sorts
Now,
of
do you
stuff,
think
man.
we'll get a wrap up to, John Walker's story in episode 6? Or do you think he's out and we're gonna deal with the big players now?
I think he's gonna. I think no. I mean, it's gonna be an hour, probably maybe a little bit more than an hour. Um. So I'm sure they're gonna tie up a bunch of stuff. I mean, you saw the post credits scene, right?
Yes. Yep. So where they're gonna start?
Yeah. So I mean, he's building his bargain bin shield.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
I mean, he's probably gonna procure something, or do something for Contessa, I mean, because he's not going to be doing anything for America.
No. That's what I'm saying. Do you
So-
think we'll probably find out who he's aligned with, because the character from the comic book has a complicated history. So
Yeah, he's a white supremacist.
yeah. But I mean, also Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character Val, in the comic book, who she's actually aligned with at any given time, she's either with Hydra, she's with Shield, or she's with there was a third secret organization whose name Leviathan and so her allegiances. We don't know which version of Contessa Val we're getting right now. So I'm not sure. Did she recruit him for Hydra? Did she recruit him for the Thunderbolts?
I can't imagine his shield. I'm sure they're setting up the
You think it's the
Thunderbolts, and yeah. I mean, they're in this show and several other shows. They're developing Thunderbolts and Young Avengers.
Yeah, and they do go at it in the comics.
I mean, they have Isaiah, like the Patriot character. That's
The grandson.
the grandson. So I mean, they're specifically spotlighting each one. I mean, you see how they recasted Ant-Man's daughter,
and now we've got Hawkeye's daughter showing up in the Hawkeye series as well. So we're getting, I mean, they are definitely planting.
and definitely Miss Marvel's probably gonna work with them as well.
Yep, Miss Marvel.
So I mean, they're setting that up, and they're also, I mean, they're about to go to the raft, so we're gonna see Ross again.
Yeah, because he runs the raft.
And probably I'm sure Tim Blake Nelson's the leader, or what's that character's name again?
The leader.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be there, and that's probably how they started. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna go to the raft, and we're gonna see the different types of villains that are still there, because Blonsky is probably still there.
Yep.
I imagine that he's using those villains to perfect his serum, so he can then become Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I prognosticate.
Ooh, that's deep.
I just want to see Sam's
Red Hulk, but that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna see the beginnings of that process. I don't imagine we're gonna see a Red Hulk. I imagined that there was gonna be a Red Hulk in this series, but the show decided to just be more slow burn and really just be incremental about stuff.
Oh man, if they go back to those original Hulk movies and tie all that right back up to the beginning again, that's wild. Because those movies are technically canon, but
I imagine. I mean, he's still running the raft.
Yeah,
he's still running the raft. So I mean, there got to be people in there. So I mean, that's the thing that makes the most sense to me.
Zemo
How else is he
was
going to
on the
perfect
Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Yep, they're all there. They're ready to go. You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah. They're setting all that stuff up.
Ghost
I can't wait to see. I just can't wait to see Sam's Wakandan tech. I'm just wondering if his partner is gonna been able to have time to fix those wings to join him.
Joaquin Torres, who is the new Falcon in the comic book.
Yeah. So
they're setting Joaquin Torres up absolutely to fix that tech and become the new Falcon.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's gonna show up at the end of this, because I feel like there's gonna be. I mean, with it being an hour, there has to be two different conflicts.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I could see him swooping in at the end to help with whatever the resolution is, and then the fans, because you've watched the whole show, just accepting that that's what happened. He fixed him, and he's here to help.
Yeah, I mean, there'll probably be a thing maybe where I forgot the name of the freckled lady,
Carly.
Corin, something like that. Carly. That she'll actually work her way over to Sam's family.
I don't think so.
That,
it's funny you should say that, because I was talking to my sister after the episode, and she thought that Carly was going to come for Sam's family. And I was like, I know that she is getting more extreme and it's more of a, progression for her, but she swore
there has to
Sam
be
that she
something
wouldn't do it.
personal. There has to be something personal. Like she's been building up to more bad things more and more. So this will probably be the thing that Sam will talk her down to, and then like a U.S. agent will kill her or something like that.
See,
who knows?
I see U.S. agent going for his family before I see Carly. I feel like Carly was good on her word when she said I would never do that.
I don't know. Because the thing is, we're going to go right into that that big action scene at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
So that's just the beginning. That can only be like, maybe 10 to 13 minutes of that. So there needs to be some actual like really deep personal conclusion by the end of it. And it's just like, you're just going to waste the connection that Sam has with his sister. This is like a Mary Jane moment,
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like, and since Sam doesn't have like a love interest, like that's who would be at stake.
Yeah, but maybe Marvel specifically avoids the trope of going after the female character to get to the male character. Like, I think.
What are you talking about? They've done that a bunch of times.
I know, but I'm like hoping that here we don't have to necessarily do it. What I think is, I think we have. I mean, it seems like a waste. I think that I think we have enough stakes where the resolution of what is actually up with Sharon Carter and the resolution and the teasing at the end of going to be, the Thunderbolts, what we think are going to be the Thunderbolts, introducing Joaquin Torres. There's a lot to get done. And I think that we can jump back. I don't think his family has to be in peril for him to be invested in what's going on. I just don't think it's necessary.
I mean, I don't know what else would there be? Because like, I mean, I only imagine that she's going to escape during that scramble.
I think Carly said that they're planning a massive terrorist event, that they're going to kill, a lot of people all at once, whether they bomb the whatever GRE or whatever they call it, the Global Repatriation Council, GRC building, or if they're going. I think that he cares enough about innocent people so that it doesn't necessarily have to be his family. I think they're gearing up for Carly to commit mass genocide. That's going to be her taking that step. She even says, we're villains. They call us villains. We're going to be villains. Now is the time. Everyone's ready. I think that she's planning something huge, and I don't think that something huge has to be killing Sam's sister necessarily. I don't know. We're going to find out. That's the joy of this.
We will find out.
We will absolutely find out.
All right. Well, I'm all talked out.
Yeah. That's it. We're done. We like to create really smooth transitions at the end of the episode. It's like, I don't think they have to kill her sister. Well, I'm done then. Then I'm done. Then I don't even want to talk anymore if we're not putting some woman in Louisiana in peril. Yeah, I'm talked out. Fine. Fuck you. Kill whoever you want. Thousands of people. Whatever. I'm just saying Sam loves everybody. He doesn't want anyone to die.
Yeah. I mean, there has to, like, my thing is, like, I believe in story mathematics, especially even if it's really good story mathematics.
I agree.
And it always goes back to Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, you're right.
There's these things that need to happen for the story to progress, and there needs to be some sort of emotional connection and stake. So, I mean, what are the things that are at stake right now?
You're 100%.
With every character, what are the things that are at stake? With Bucky, there's not much at stake but his newfound relationship with his friend. With Sam, his family's at stake. His identity as a new Captain America is at stake. You know, with Zemo, I mean, he's probably already escaped. You know, so I don't know if he's going to factor in. I'm sure they're going to have some scene with him. You know, like showing that he's about to start the thunder, like, oh yeah, because they're taking him to the raft, so we're definitely gonna have a scene.
I think they'll reveal that he always wanted to go to the raft, that going to the raft is part of his plan.
Yeah, makes sense to me. You know, so there you go. So I mean, but that's just the beginning. That's his conclusion. There's nothing that he's going to be fighting for at that point. Who knows? They might surprise us, but that brings us back to Ross and stuff. But that's just set up for other stuff. So again, it's like our two central characters. Those are the things. So I mean, with that amount of runtime, I think something's going to happen with his sister. You know, sister and the kids. That'd be weird if it didn't, because what else is at stake for him?
I think that his identity as Captain America and the desire to live up to that title by saving innocent people is enough. I think that it's possible.
But that's going to happen in the first. That's going to happen in the first 20 minutes, Tom. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think. I think it is more likely John Walker goes after his family than Carly Montague.
For what reason? For what reason?
Because he took the shield. He took it. He took it from him. He beat him. And he took it and he brought him before that council. He was going to murder all of them and go and lie some more about what happened and hopefully try to get away with it. But no, he was apprehended by Sam. So I think he's pissed.
I doubt that.
All right, well, you know what? We're going to find out next week, depending on someone.
No, this Friday. This Friday.
Sorry, right. This Friday. Jeez, when are we recording? All right, so this
Don't make
Friday,
it longer, man. Don't make it longer.
All right, so if Carly goes after his family, then you have to record the intro next week. And if Carly decides she's the better person, I will record the intro for next week. Deal?
Deal.
All right, so you people heard it here first. Whoever is right doesn't have to record the damn intro, but I will record the damn intro. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Tales to Admonish.
Love you guys.
I love you.
Love you, man.